Hello again and welcome back to the Design Science course. Today I want to say some words about trends, what I have mentioned trends on the website and what I mean with that. Trends is a set of variables that define the general conditions for information system design. I argue that those factors or variables has changed over time, and that means that also the conditions for information system design has changed, and as a consequence a method that was developed for a certain value of some of those variables perhaps is not as good anymore when the variable has changed. So let's take an example. We have a time axis here, perhaps in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and nowadays. And on this axis we have those variables. So we have a set of this graph for each variable. So let's take one of them as an example. We take gold, type of gold type. In the beginning we developed information systems often in order to rationalize a process or an activity. I call those systems R systems. After that it became more popular to also increase the quality of the systems or what the systems done, so I can call them quality systems or Q systems. It also with time became evident that you can develop information systems making it possible to do things that it is not possible to do without computer support. We can call them A systems, ability creating systems or something like that. And also, lately we have seen something they call convenient or entertainment, meaning that it has to be convenient to use the system, it has to be fun perhaps also. And the trend is that in the 60s it was those type of system that dominated. Lately the Q systems become more in focus. And lately also the A systems more in focus, and today perhaps it is here somewhere. So if you draw a line here, that is the trend. And as a consequence, a method developed here early, it was developed in order to meet the requirements of R system development. And even if its method is good for this type of activity, perhaps at least, we can't be sure, but perhaps I think it is not as good, for example, development system, a C system or CE systems up here. And that meaning that if you're looking at development methods, you have to also to take into account in what context is this method used and what is the purpose of the development. Is it the purpose to develop this type of system or this type or this type? And you can have some similar discussions with other factors here in the list I have mentioned on the website or in the papers on the website. But I also mentioned to you some other trends that is interesting that can be called a super trend. In the beginning here, in the 60s, it was not so often that you used this word design in context with information system development. It was more used to say information systems development methods, or perhaps systemeering methods. Systemeering used as a short form of systems engineering. And also that was shortened to systemeering, but the basic word is systems engineering. but we call it the Information Systems Development Methods, perhaps in the 60s I say. And here the people working here thought that as computers are unique on something new we have not had so much before, this activity to develop information systems is also something completely new and completely unique that has to be created from scratch. So the first methods here was, let's say they were created from scratch based on the thinking that this is something unique that has never been done before. But roughly in the same time, or slightly before even, some researchers, as Herbert Simon, Nobel Prize laureate, also John Warfield, Bela Banati and some others, worked with or laid the ground for what we call system design science. And design science, in their words, those researchers, they said that whatever you are developing in order to support our human life, there are some common factors in it and some common problems that has to be solved whatever you are developing. If it is a information system, or if it is some other tools you are using in your everyday life, cars, bicycles or whatever, typewriters or whatever. And we develop design science as a generic or general science for all development of all human support systems. But with time, I think it has been a convergence of those two trends. So nowadays, even the information system design methods are very much influenced by the general design science research. Even if it is still there are some differences, but anyhow the influence is much more common today than it was in the 60s. Also, it was what can we say more about this? There are other influences too. So today you have an influence on the information system design development from social science, so ideas from participative, what we call today participative design, and also perhaps activity research, action research and so on. A lot of others, they are coming from social science research, but also influencing the information system design. You have also an influence from what we can call industrial design. But it's more practical activity, also influencing here. So, what we can see, what was from the beginning a completely isolated and unique activity called information system development or systemeering is today converged into a set of influences from other sources, from industrial design, from social science in general, and from design science as a generic research. And that you have to take into account when you are looking at those traditional design methods and think about it in a with big framework. Okay, I hope this has clarified a bit for you, and thank you for listening.